Hey guys, Silverlord here, back again with another action figure review. And today, we'll be continuing our looks at the Mythic Legion's Rising Suns wave with, you can probably tell already, Attlus the Conqueror version 2 and Bodvar the Bear. These of course brought to us by the fine folks over at Horsemen Studios. And for those of you who weren't paying attention just now, or to my Scapula and Umbra review from yesterday, we changed things up as far as the intro goes. Shout out to my good buddy Monster Bloodbath Lagoon, aka Prestocorn, for hooking me up with that way back when I started this whole YouTube shtick. We'll be using that intro for these Mythic Legions reviews. I do have some other videos that are already done that have the old intro, but eventually that's going to be the new intro. I plan to change the visuals, but for now, we're going to see if changing the music up helps your boy from getting copyright notices, because those are getting old. So, with that being said, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at all Attlus and Bodvar has to offer in terms of accessories, starting off with, of course, hands. We always need a plethora of hands to choose from. So Attlus comes with fists. I mean, he looks like the type of dude who'd throw down the pit. I sure as heck wouldn't want to mess with him. We also have the hands with the incorrect grip for holding weapons, but we have them, so yay! You're into that sort of thing anyways. We also have a pair of kind of open grip or grasping hands. Style pose hands, some might say. And then we have an even more open pair of, one would say, style pose hands or relaxed hands. That's what I like to think of them as. And then he does have an alternate head, because in the Mythic Legion's lore, he does have an alias, kind of like Bruce Wayne and Batman, or Peter Parker and Spider-Man. He dons his gladiator helmet and fights in the Mercurian arena, and frees the likes of Clavius, Brontus, I want to say Nieve, the elf character from this wave, amongst some others, under the guise of, I don't remember the name, but this pretty cool gladiator helmet. It even has a little skull like Clavius's helmet has. Clavius! He's a black dude that's a gladiator. Not Clavian, the red skeleton with the same powers as Carnage from Marvel Comics. That said, as far as weaponry for Attlus goes, we do get a plain Jane dagger in a sheath, which is fine, I guess. Saw that with Scapula, so I guess they shop at the same dagger store. We also get the same old sword we've seen since, like, day one of this line. I don't know why they couldn't give him, like, a cooler sword. It seems like a wasted opportunity to me to give him a really unique, like, sword that fits him. It doesn't even have a scabbard or anything, so that kind of sucks. He does have this slightly more unique short sword, which reminds me a lot of one the NECA Warduke from D&D came with. But there's that. And then we also have this axe here, which is a little bit more unique. I don't think we've seen this before. It's a double-headed axe. Of course, you could pop the end off like so. The same handle we saw with, I want to say, Otho version 2 had a handle like this. I don't remember if Urzok did. Urzok? Is that the orc dude's name? Urzok, Kurzok, something like that. And then as far as Bodvar goes, we have some fur tufts and this alternate screamy face, which is like the coolest looking thing ever. It almost looks like a wall mount, because it is just the head. And of course you would slide these over this and then pop it on. Easier said than done, I'm going to tell you right now. And the head that faces forward like that, it does have a double ball peg, both here at the base and then here as well. I had to crack these suckers loose. They were stuck initially. So once I did that, that made the heads a little easier to swap. But this head is actually packaged on the standing up neck, whereas the closed mouth head is packaged on this neck when you open it. Speaking of opening it, unfortunately, I am also a victim of broken claw syndrome, because Bodvar comes with some interchangeable claws, so you can have him walking, and this is what they're supposed to look like. However, when I opened the package, this is what the left one on mine looked like. And that, after a 2-year wait, my friends, freaking sucks balls. Now, granted, 4 Horsemen are probably going to replace it. There's no denying that's freaking busted clean off, but I really think they should have made the claws out of something softer. This is PVC, obviously. You're supposed to be able to swap them, but I think they could stand to be a little bit softer. I mean, yeah, they're his feet. He needs them to stand, but these claws are too fragile, and I don't want to have to go through the same spiel with the polar bear. That said, isn't it funny my Yogi Bear's got a boo-boo? So, there you go. That said, wrapping up Bodvar's accessories, he does come with some bondage, so Attlus can ride him, particularly from the back. I'm kidding, of course. It's a freaking saddle. There is a loop-de-loop here, so you can put Atlus's axe there. And then there's also a couple loops in the front, but there's nothing to put in those in the package, so that is that. There are some creatures on the... There are some creatures on this saddle, too. I don't know if we'll ever see those in figure form, but it would be nice. But putting that away, just kind of wrap stuff around it just so it stays as one solid piece. You know what, I'll even tab that right quick. It's not very hard to tab in. It actually stays in pretty well, despite the fact that it's really easy to tab in. But now, I'm going to move Bodvar out of the way. I know that's what you all came for, but good things comes to those who wait. Just kidding, that's a lie. I mean, look, I waited 2 years for that dang thing, and his claw was busted in the box. Break my own toys, thank you. But let's look at Attlus first. And I'm going to tell you, while I don't have him on hand, I do have the original Attlus from way back. It's actually the All-Star release, so it's not the original, but I did know somebody who had it. Their name was T-Biz. He sold it for like $2 on eBay, and that is that. But either way, I've seen both the original and I held the All-Star. I'm going to tell you right now, if you think those are better than this, you smoking crack. This is an awesome looking update for this character. I like the fur pelt he's got going on. I like the asymmetry in it. It's got a thick-ish wire that doesn't appear to be all kinked up and busted, so that's cool. And I did double-check my Scapular's soft goods. Excuse me, Scapula! And his soft goods appear to be all good, too. But at any rate, this does have the little nylon bands, but you don't need to stretch them nearly as much as you have on previous releases with capes with nylon bands, so that is cool. That said, he also has some fur on his nuts. Keep him from getting blue balls, because it's so cold, it turns your skin blue. You know what you thought I meant, pervert. And then he's got the, basically the Urzok, I think that's his name, left arm all the way down to the hand, which I don't know if these hands match Urzok exactly, because I know he didn't have the up and down hinge on one of his hands, so it'd be nice if they finally got like the evil knight mold for both sides. Give us like a hand pack so that figure can be a little more complete. And then on this side, this is actually just like a bracelet piece. It just slides a little bit. And then, of course, he's got the human hand, human arm, human torso, this new harness piece. At least it's new to me. It does have a loop-de-loop for the sword on the back. So that's cool. He's got a loop-de-loop for the dagger right here. You can put in. He's got this cool skull belt buckle. And then he's got the Urzok boot on this side from the knee down. Well, the knee and the foot. I think the shin is new because it's got this lion's head on it. It's got something going on there. And then this boot, on mine anyways, this was super tight, but it does rotate. That said, other than having a thigh cut and this boot swivel, his articulation is exactly the same as Scapular's. Scapula! Oh, his ponytail does rotate as well, so you can do what you want with that, but looking at that head sculpt quick. Really nice head sculpt. And of course he doesn't have the neck swivel because he got a bare torso. But other than that, his articulation is the same. So why don't we gear him up a little bit. I'm not going to put the axe in his hand because that requires a little bit more elbow grease. But why don't we put this sword in the scabbard. I think it's a sword. It's a short sword at the very least. Put that sword in there. Put this dagger here. Which the original Attlus had, like a legit dagger spot on the belt right around there. So that's cool that they brought that back. Sword can go in his back. To my surprise, easier than it would seem. You just gotta pull this harness forward a bit, shift it up so it's not like hitting him in the butt. There's Attlus, ready to conquer. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for, Bodvar the bear. Oh my god. First and foremost, he weighs 4 pounds. Second, he is probably a little bit taller than a troll. There he is. There's his head there. I mean, what the heck? But as far as articulation goes, I can actually do this on camera. His head has double ball pegs. Up here, they can look up and down, they can rotate, and tilt side to side. And show the rotation, so I'll show you that now. There you go. His neck has the same thing. It's got a double ball peg so it can lean back and forth. It can rotate, and it can tilt. Not so much with this, I will say. No, that's a lie. He can get quite a bit of tilt out of that. That's why ball pegs are king, people. You can get a ton of range out of them. I'm just going to lay him down. He is really doing a number on my shoulder. I am not the strongest chap out there, alright? So, you know, it's just a little tricky to get this guy to move. His shoulders are on ball sockets. They hinge out more when they're straight down in a walking pose. You can hinge them out, you can hinge them down, you can rotate them back and forth. He's got a single jointed elbow with rotation in lieu of not having a straight bicep swivel. He's got ball jointed paws. This goes for all 4 paws, so I'm only showing this once. So if you miss it, that's on you, buddy. They can rotate. They can rotate. And they can also hinge. I'm going to tell you, be mindful of the claws. Push from the bottom of the paw when you're moving this thing. Or at the very least from the top of the paw. Do not push on the claws. You will snap them off. Alright? Just like this. Or better yet, you could rotate this whole thing around and just keep pushing from the bottom. That's what I would do. Push from the bottom. There's enough surface area. If you got hands like mine anyways, you can move that around and it'll be fine. That said, I've bumped into the claws several times messing with this guy, and he's okay at the moment. But I'm going to shut up because I don't want to jinx nothing. Especially moving this guy around on camera. Because, you know, the best stuff always happens on camera, right? I'm kidding. That's sarcasm, folks. He does have a waist twist. I don't know if this is a double joint or not. I can't really get much lean out of it. I haven't heated it, but it does tilt side to side just a little bit. It's not the tightest thing ever, but it doesn't really need to be. It's also not flopping about either. That's it, moving his arms up. His hips can move back and forth. They are also on ball sockets. Oop. I knew that was going to happen, but at least I didn't knock it down. They are also on ball sockets. And he does have a swivel at the knee. This knee's a little looser, so I'm going to move it. He also has a hinged knee. And then the bottom paws are just like the front paws, but the rocker, I will say, is a little tighter because these paws aren't meant to pop off. That said, I had to pop these off just to get them to move. So, while he is freaking epic because he is a giant freaking bear and puts like all the other bear figures to shame. I mean, they're all Hasbro, so that's not hard to do, but you know what I mean. The longest time that was the standard, that's what we had. But now we got this, and it's just like there is no comparison. But I will tell you, this was not the most enjoyable experience for me as far as getting him open, realizing, oh snap, he has a busted claw, and then getting all the joints to work. It sucked. It hurt in ways I cannot describe. But at the end of the day, it's a pretty sick piece, and I'm going to say that if this is the type of thing you're into, and you want this, like, you're like thinking about getting this, just get it. I don't think you'll be disappointed, unless you get a busted claw in the box like I did. And, you know, that's how many of these things are made. It's not really hard to believe that they busted off in the package, considering how fragile the claws are, despite the fact that they are PVC still. But, you know, 2-year wait. Now I gotta wait however many days, weeks, months, whatever, for them to get me the replacement claw. It sucks, you know. You don't want that to happen to your new stuff. If anything, I prefer to break stuff on my own, because that way at least I can make fun of how stupid I am on video. But in this case, I can't even do that. You took the one thing I like doing away from me, and that is self-humiliation. You sons of monkeys. But standing him up, bringing Attlus back in. These two are peas in a pod, man. They look great together. Look even better when Attlus is riding Bodvar. But I guess, you know, I'm just going to take him out. We're going to center him, because I think it's about time our two regulars get dwarfed. So here's Brother Mandibolith right there. You could see that, right? And then we have the infamous 11 Spawn, who, yeah, is not towering over Jack Diddley Squat today, except Attlus, who I'll bring back in here. I'll just put him in front of Bodvar, right in front of the crotch. Actually, you can get out of here. We'll just put him right there. Just so you can see the size of this thing. It's a little ridiculous. And I know that people are going to be like, why can't you pan the camera up? Because I can't, alright? I'm already backed up quite a bit as it is. This is as good as it's going to get, folks. So, with that being said, anyone else think this guy looks like something you see in the taxidermy places, truck stops, hotels here in the Adirondacks? I live in the Adirondacks, and I can tell you I've seen plenty of taxidermy bears in my life. And I'm going to tell you right now, as a child, those things are scary as heck and made me crap my pants and run. Because not for nothing, most of them were posed like this. And when you're a kid, just because someone tells you that thing is dead doesn't mean it doesn't make you whiz your pants so much it's running down your leg. Alright? So don't judge me. We've all been there. I'm sure. But with that being said, random side tangents and childhood trauma aside, I think it is now time that we officially wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and aside from the claw being busted on my Bodvar and Atlus's boot being a little too tight out of package along with some other joints, particularly on Bodvar, I have to say that if you have the real estate and the money, because this stuff ain't cheap no more, I mean, it never really was, but you know what I mean, I'm going to say definitely don't sleep on these two. This is an awesome display piece, or pieces, because there is two of them to have. This is something that if you have it in your toy room and people walk in and see it, they're going to be like, what the heck is that? Because nobody, and I mean nobody, has made a bear figure this awesome before, that is this posable, this heavy, this big, ever. I know all you Marvel Legends elitists and Hasbro elitists and whatever are going to say Ursa Major and the G.I. Joe classified polar bear. Yeah, well, I think Bodvar would eat them for breakfast and crap them out before lunchtime. So that's my 2 cents on that. However, I did say that if you had the space and the money, you should pick this up because, yeah, I am barely fitting this in frame. I had to adjust the pose and back the camera up as much as I could, putting myself in full-blown gargoyle position to fit this on frame for you guys. So, I hope you like it. Can't say I don't do nothing for you, can ya? So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Stay tuned, we got more from Rising Suns coming your way, and until next time, catch you guys later.